The biggest thing that I heard, and I saw Dog shaking his head at this moment, was tagging people in the tweets. Unless they ask you to do that, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless like a community manager or somebody is on Twitter and it's like, at me with your best clip from, whatever game, and we'll send you some swag or something like that. Please don't tag those people. That's their job is to be on Twitter, and the mentions being fooled up will basically get you brushed off to the side almost immediately.
Yeah.
What is going on today, everybody? Welcome to another episode of StreamKey. You have myself and my awesome co-host Sadomi, and we got two very beautiful guests today, DoggGaming and MrPureinstinct. So we'll start off with MrPureinstinct. You want to introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. What's up, guys? My name is MrPureinstinct, or as a lot of you know me, MPI. I'm a variety caster here on Twitch. We play all sorts of games, mostly story-driven games. We talk a lot about mental health. We have a lot of fun and make sure that the channel is a safe space for people to come be if they need to vent or just get away for a little while. And that's pretty much it. I drink a lot of coffee too, so I'm usually a little jittery.
Dope. DoggGaming, what you got for us, man?
Hello, everyone. How you doing? I'm DoggGaming, and I am a new variety streamer. Not a new streamer, but a new variety streamer. So I'm just finding my feet in the variety world, and as always, being trolled by my chat along the way. So that's
Well, that's it.
Oh yeah.
That's all you,
yeah.
All right,
Short
cool.
Sweet this week.
No, that's great. Perfect. Sadomi, my dude, you want to introduce yourself for anybody who doesn't know?
Hey everyone, if you don't already know, my name is Sadomi. I am your homie, and I am the guy you want to go to if you want to help improve your life, because I want to do the same thing to me, because I think we all can improve, not only as streamers, but as people first and foremost. And so with that being said, I love this podcast. Let's get right into it.
Hell yeah. And you guys know me. I'm Velok. I'm the fat, lovable loser. And let's get into the show. So first thing we're going to talk about is Bad Bunny goes off on her chat for not subscribing. I think everybody and like their parents have probably seen this, but I felt like it was something that's, relevant enough to talk about. Starting off with Sadomi, my dude, I'm assuming you've seen this.
Yeah, I actually just watched it right before we started. And I think the funniest part about that is she can do that same thing, but she needs to go like about it differently. Mm-hmm. And also brings up another point. A deeper topic that to go into. At what point does a viewer, and this is an opinionated piece for anyone, by the way, at what point does a viewer should contribute financially to a broadcast or to a content creator? Or you think that is something that is completely never, ever warranted, or even, we'll say, deserved, even?
Okay. Wait. Were you asking me a question there?
I was asking everyone.
Answer this? Oh my gosh, I was not prepared.
Phil, you need to drink more of your coffee, man. Come on.
I really do, man.
Dang.
I'm having a slow start today. All right, DoggGaming, what you got about this one, my dude?
I mean, yeah, that's actually something that I was going to touch on as well. What Sadomi was saying. I mean, I think everybody agrees that it's shitty the way she did things. It's a really shitty way to go. To try and guilt people into it. And to touch slightly on what Sadomi is saying, like money, wanting to monetize your stream and is perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. If anybody has a problem with that, then that's maybe a stigma that they themselves need to look at, because people are out here trying to make content, trying to make a living through their content. But there are other ways of doing it, and people. Twitch is free. That's the thing. It's not Netflix. It's not. It's not Amazon. It's not anything like that. It's free. The content at source is free. Whether people sub to you is whether you provide value to them. That's basically it. Provide value that they feel is worth money, and they'll sub to you. That's it. If they're able to, of course. Because the other thing is as well, it's a free platform, so it's there for people to take advantage of if they don't have spare money to sub to people. You know, if they are working as many jobs as they can and barely scraping by, and here's some entertainment and a community that they can be part of, you know, like that's also part of it as well. But also, you know, what the thing that confuses me is this: if she's so worried about seeing, as she said, there's a wall of non-subs speaking in my chat. Sub-only chat's just for you then, isn't it? You know, if that really irks you, you know, you don't want to see that in your, and it's up to her. She's perfectly entitled to run her channel the way she sees fit. And if that's something that irks her, then sub only on your chat, you know, and deal with it that way, and you only will see people that are chatting. But to me, the entire way she's went about it, as I say, want to monetize your channel, want to earn money, you know, have a Patreon, have other perks, have other things that you can do, fantastic. But, you know, to go about it that way and then to try and pass it off as sarcasm, the whole thing's a really bad look and bad taste, you know. Yep. And, you know, one of our other possible monetization streams is sponsorships. Sponsors ain't going to look at clips like that and want to partner up with someone. Like, that is not a good look. Nobody's wanting to align with that. So a serious look at the way she's approaching trying to make money, she needs to do that. In my opinion, she needs to reevaluate.
Absolutely. MPI.
I mean, I think you guys kind of all said it right. There's nothing wrong with wanting to monetize your content, and I don't think that there's any secret here that multiple of us are full-time creators or are doing it as part of our income, and that's fine. It's no different than starting anything else. The biggest thing that you see, though, is it's a free website. Like Dog said, it's there for people to come and they're going to watch your stream. And if they're on hard times, maybe that month alone, maybe they just can't sub that month, but they've been subbed for the past 2 years. But, you know, their car broke down. And just because their car broke down, you think that they don't deserve to watch your content? I don't see how she could come back from this and say it's a joke and anyone look at it and be like, yeah, it was totally a joke. Yeah, you're definitely joking for the second time, because this isn't the first time she's done this exact same thing. And if she had gone about it of saying, hey guys, just so you know, I'm having a rough time this month. My car broke down and I had to pay to get it fixed. And this is my only form of income. If y'all have some spare and can throw it my way, I'd appreciate it. And then you're done. Move on after that moment. But to call people out and say like, oh, I have a whole wall of people that aren't subbed. Great. The way that you're talking, it sounds like you don't deserve it. I mean, you have to, it's a two-way street. The way that I see it is you have to make a connection with people, provide value to them. And if they can afford it, they will subscribe to you. But as soon as you're yelling at me to subscribe to you, you just kind of became the scene out of Goodfellas where it's F you, pay me. Well, yeah, I can't. So what do you want me to do? Leave, or do you want me to stay here and support you as a viewer? At that point, what do you want? What do you want me to do? If you don't want me to watch you because I can't pay for it, that's fine. I'll go watch one of the other, 2 million people on Twitch. I'm sure someone out there will appreciate it. I do think anyone who is wanting to make this a career, they do deserve to have the opportunity to do that. If you're good at what you do and people can pay you, you should be paid. But if the problem lies in all you're relying on is those subs and you're yelling at people for not subbing, you need to look at other avenues. Patreon, you know, an Amazon affiliate link. So when people shop on Amazon, because they shop on Amazon, they click that link, you get a small cut of the sale. Great. That's awesome. Streamloots is a really good one. You know, you get people buy packs of cards to do fun things on your stream, and it lets them interact with the stream. So they get value out of it and you get paid off of it, and it adds more content to your content on top of it. So you're double dipping on content and payment there, basically. Sadomi appreciates that one, I know. So if that's the whole problem, then maybe this isn't the right place for you. Maybe you aren't cut out to be a content creator if you can't accept that sometimes people aren't going to pay you $1,000 a day to sit in your chair and just chat.
Right. Agree. And if it was a joke, I feel like she would have worked on her delivery a little bit more. Like, you can't just sit there looking mean, acting mean, and sounding mean, and just be like, it was a joke. Like,
for the second time.
For the second time, exactly. Like if you're actually trying to do something funny and you're trying to be sarcastic about it, you're gonna want to work on your delivery a little bit, because that ain't it. Like that, like it doesn't come across as a joke to anybody. Like I've never, like, I don't know, it for somebody who really appreciates sarcasm and any sort of comedy, like I did not find anything funny about that at all. It didn't seem sarcastic to me. She really needs to work on the delivery if that's the case.
Yeah,
it was funny to me.
She's a big enough, I got
funny.
Yeah, there's
it
that.
seems like she's a big enough streamer that if that's what she's going for, take an acting class.
Yeah. Watch them stand up. Watch somebody else do it and see them do it better, because it's just not it. So next topic, Twitch viewership drops after losing top streamers. Obviously there's more to this than just losing the top streamers, but I mean, obviously Twitch is seeing a decrease, and you know, there's like a lull for a multitude of reasons. I want to start off with Sadomi again on this, because he brought up some good points earlier today.
Boom. So I think the biggest thing to look at is Twitch has always been growing steadily, but the biggest thing I've noticed in the data, because look at the whole data report. I did this on stream last night too. The data, the graphs, you look at just the graphs, can be a little misleading if you look deep into the numbers. It's kind of revealed that YouTube is going up, Mixer is going up a little bit as well, but they've had great growth so far and they went down a little bit. So what I'm thinking is that streaming as a whole is kind of being pushed down from Twitch and Mixer together as platforms, but YouTube's numbers are a little inflated because they included a lot of major esports competitions, and as we know, those inflate and they blow up because not only do a lot of people tune in for those, they also, you know, kind of flood the numbers a little bit too, just because, you know, you want bigger numbers for your sponsors, so do all that. And also looking at the quarters, so what happens in Q2 to Q3 for most people? That's summertime. People are out of school, teachers are out of work, a lot of people go on vacation or just don't have as many like responsibilities, go outside a bit more. So Twitch actually grows a lot during those months. Like those months, you can probably know, you get more viewers, more people come by. Mm-hmm. And then what happens around Q3, Q4, you know, September, November, October, December. Yep. People go down just because, you know, holidays, exams, schools, Twitch numbers go down. So it's important to compare Q3 to Q4 for each year versus just against the past quarter. Because if you just look at it's down from last quarter, well, look at what's going on outside the scenes too. You can't just think of it in a bubble, because if you think of it in a bubble, you won't get the full picture. And so I think that I'm not too worried about Twitch's lifespan with this, but I definitely think with the pushes that YouTube and Mixer are making, that 2020 is going to be a make or break year for the next 5 years. Only because I said it because with the amount of market share Twitch has, they are still losing market share to not Mixer, to YouTube. And I'll bring up another point later about Mixer, which is amazing. I always bring it up all the time, but Mixer is legitimately the best platform when it comes to marketing by far. Because Mixer is, if you look at the numbers, Mixer is irrelevant completely. They have a 3% market share about, and people talk about it like Twitch versus Mixer, when really it's Twitch versus YouTube. And YouTube's going to win because YouTube has a 2.2 billion user base. So,
right, absolutely, for sure. DoggGaming, you got anything on this topic at all?
I mean, I'm not surprised the numbers went down for all the reasons that that Sadomi have said. I do feel that there will have been a certain amount of viewers. For example, we spoke a few weeks ago that only 50% of Shroud's viewers had followed him across to Mixer. And I've got a feeling that if you looked at that specific group, that 15%, I would hazard a guess that a lot of them watch Shroud and Shroud only. You know, and when he moved, it doesn't matter what platform that's the platform they'll be on, you know. So I do wonder if, like, the bigger streamers that have moved, they've taken similar numbers themselves of viewers that are specifically there and only there to watch them, you know, which will play a part. But again, it's, you know, when you look at the overall year, Twitch is up over the year, and that's what they'll be looking at. You know, quarters, as Sadomi was saying, you know, you can't look at the quarters in a bubble. You can't look at them in isolation, and you certainly can't just compare them to the previous quarter. But over the year, Twitch is up. Twitch are happy. They can look at it and they can say, we've lost two of the biggest streamers in the world in the last year in Shroud and Ninja, and several other streamers that are massive draws, and they're still up. So from their point of view, everything's rosy, and again, I agree. I echo what Sadomi says. Everybody's talking about Mixer, but the reality is, it's between you. The numbers show it. It's between YouTube and Twitch. That's the competition. That's the top two. That's the two that will make something going forward. So again, this whole thing's very interesting to me, because we're seeing business being played out, big business being played out, but in a market sphere that we've never seen it done before. With variables that we've never seen. No businesses have had to deal with before. So I find it all very interesting because of that. It's a very unique sort of experience and time that we're going through here with all this competition between the major four.
Right. Totally agree. MPI, what you got, man?
I mean, I think both of them hit it, right on the head. Looking at quarter to quarter is like looking at Monday to Friday and which day you're more excited about. It's hard to compare them. But if you look at the overall year, Twitch, like you said, Twitch is moving up just because they had one lower quarter. That is always a slower quarter. Doesn't mean, we need to start battening down the hatches and Twitch is in trouble or anything.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see what YouTube's going to do this year, because they're obviously ready to make moves and they want to. And I'm curious to see how it's all going to work out for the smaller broadcasters, people who aren't getting millions of views every day or hundreds of thousands. I'm curious to see how that works out, because that's where I always see people are jumping back and forth, is trying to find the best place for growth. And I mean, at this point, I think I've tried all the platforms throughout my lifetime, and Twitch was the only one that actually feels like streams take off if you're not already big on that platform. For YouTube, it seems like if you're a YouTube streamer, it's either very, very low, or you are, a multi-million subscriber channel who already has a bunch of videos, and you go, I don't know, I'll live stream once or twice. And that's where they get all their viewership from. So I'm curious to see what happens with the little guys over on YouTube.
Agreed. Real quick, for any of you who have any questions, make sure to type them in the chat and at myself and TRUgaming. You can also join up in the Discord and call in, and you'll get priority over anybody who has a question in the chat. So speaking of YouTube picking up or making more moves, they signed 3 more Twitch streamers, Valkyrae, Uselk, and Laserbeam. I know about Valkyrae. I know that she's a 100 Thieves streamer, like content creator for 100 Thieves. The other two I'm not too sure about, but it is cool to see that, people that aren't like the big streamers on Twitch are still getting noticed by other platforms. And obviously Valkyrae, I think, has some sort of affiliation with Courage JD, who got signed over to YouTube as well. I think he's a 100 Thieves content creator as well. So it's just them making more moves, definitely picking from like the not so top 10 streamers anymore, kind of working their way down, which I think we'll start to see more of that. And I think they're going to start like picking more people that might not even be partnered on Twitch in the future, people that like are up and coming. Like, I think that'd be smart for YouTube to pick up as well. Starting off with MPI, what do you got about this topic, my dude?
I like, exactly like you said, they're not just, picking the top people in the world. They're getting these people who are, don't get me wrong, they're not small broadcasters by any means. They're bringing in numbers, but they're not Ninja. They're not Shroud. They're very well known in their areas. Like you said, with 100 Thieves, they have Courage, who's been around forever in the esports scene, was on Twitch for a while with Optic, and then moved over there now with 100 Thieves. The owner of 100 Thieves, or founder at this point, whatever he's moved into, Nadeshot, he's good friends with the guy who runs YouTube Gaming, like the president of YouTube Gaming. They have been friends for years through Call of Duty. So seeing 100 Thieves people come over makes so much sense to me. Like these guys all know each other and go to like UFC fights together, go out to dinner together. So it makes sense that these business connections are being made too. So I like that they're starting to work in not necessarily the top dogs, but the people who are still way up there. It would be like, it's kind of like the Broadway actors versus Hollywood actors. They're amazing at what they do, but they're not as well known because they're not on the silver screen. So I like that, and I think that's a good way to do it, because they're probably spending the same amount of money on 3 people that Mixer spent on 1. And
Absolutely.
From a business point, if I can spend the same amount of money on 3 people instead of 1 person, why wouldn't I do that? That's probably going to equal the same amount of people coming over and probably more growth in the long run. So I'm just like we were saying before, I'm excited to see what YouTube has for us in 2020 and what it means for the middle and smaller folk out there rather than, Ninja.
Right. DoggGaming.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both hit it right on the head there. It's only good. Like we've said this multiple times on the show. Competition is good for every streamer at every level, because it forces the platforms to do stuff for everybody. It forces them to make themselves more, get more appeal. Do things that make them more appealing and make people want to see part of them. What I'm interested to find out, or to see if it might happen, I wonder if we'll see an actual esports team sign, like an entire esports team sign for one platform. Because I think that would be a viable option. I mean, obviously the deal would have to be right for everybody, but that could be huge. You could, if you did it right, you could corner a huge part of a gaming market. Depending on what that team is. I mean, like just off the method. For example, with World of Warcraft. If you could get X amount of method, 5, 10, whatever members to sign up to your platform. You take basically an esports team, you become the home of that esports team, and now you've got a whole lot of branding and stuff that you can push. Now you've got a whole lot of avenues you can work down with that collaboration. So I'd be interested to see if that's something that we might see in the future. But to echo the sentiments, I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see people getting the chance. Because at the end of the day, whatever platform you're on, there's always going to be a kind of pyramid in a way, isn't there? There's always going to be the people at the very top, and I think some people maybe not get the chance to shine. There's certainly some creators out there who are not getting the audiences they deserve, and perhaps this is an opportunity for them to get discovered. But it's all very exciting, and it's all good for us. It's all good for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more people that get picked out of Twitch, it just kind of like lets somebody else step up to that plate that they were at. You know what I mean? So it allows people to make the moves that they want and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sadomi?
So I'm gonna start off with something MPI said, because this really made me think. At first, I was disagreeing heavily with what he said, and then I thought about it, and I was like, well, getting Valkyrie and the other streamers for YouTube is a different value than Mixer getting Ninja. Mixer getting Ninja was for the talking points. That's what. Oh yeah, because yeah. If you get Valkyrie and those other content creators, I'll be honest, they're not. Ninja has more is more talked about than all 3 of those people combined. So for that, YouTube is trying to build their viewer base, trying to build their content base. That's what they're trying to do, because everyone knows YouTube. They don't need people to know about them. They have 2.2 billion users. I know I keep bringing the number up, but think about that. There's 7 billion people in the world. So with that, YouTube, you can tell too by their numbers what they're trying to do, because they've had less people streaming, but their average concurrent viewership is getting higher and higher. Like the average stream on YouTube has 73 viewers. That's including the top streams, the top of the top, the tippity top, and the 0 viewer, people who just turn their PCs on once. So at 73, Twitch is only 35 about. So when you think about it, that's still pretty freaking big.
That is.
Yeah. So when people move, you have to think about it. Why are they moving? Besides just because not everyone's going for those views. Twitch, the only reason they would re-sign Tim the Tatman and all those people is just because they want to lock them down to the platform. Because Tim is, luckily, he's already like loyal to Twitch, brand loyal to Twitch. So he doesn't have much risk of moving. So you probably have to offer him a little less than say Ninja would have asked for, because Ninja's like, I'm just get my bag and get out of here. Mm-hmm. So like I said, you kind of have to think what the platforms want when they make these deals with these streamers. Mm-hmm. So you'll see YouTube probably getting more consistent content creators of different groups, different teams, and Mixer will get as many big names as possible to stir up their earned media, to get people talking about them. Because they all have different plans. Twitch's plan is to not sync. YouTube's plan is to build their army and then just ham fist in. Mixer is to just get your name in their brain and get them talking about you as much as possible. Then when they're ready to, then they cock the gun and load the trigger and take a shot at Twitch. So whenever you see streamers move, just think about what that means for each platform individually.
Absolutely. MPI, looks like you were going to say something there.
No, I was just kind of agreeing. That all makes a whole lot of sense.
I was really excited for what you had to say.
Sorry to disappoint you, like always.
Yeah, Eye of the Night says, is that 2.2 billion users or 2.2 billion accounts?
2.2 billion monthly users.
Damn.
So 2.2 billion people use YouTube every day. Now, mind you, I think maybe you'll definitely have some duplicate accounts. Obviously, we all have multiple user accounts that come in, and people have multiple Gmails. So that number's definitely inflated. But I'd say honestly, I'd be hard pressed to say that's not at least a 1 billion monthly, actual 1 billion monthly users. Yeah, they could also be like keeping that an account too and logging it from IP address and also accounts used on that PC. Especially if you use Chrome, and it's like, hey, so use YouTube on this account, will count as one account. So it could be 2.2, or it could be like a 1 billion that they're raising up. I don't know, but that's still a lot of people. I can't comprehend 1 billion people. I can't comprehend 50,000 people.
I can't comprehend a billion people.
Yeah. What other businesses have that level of market share? I mean, they're out there, but you're talking, you're talking the infinitesimal % of businesses that have that kind of market share. It's wild.
Governments and countries don't have that much reach.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy to say. Well, there you go.
Think about it for a second and try to imagine 1 billion people standing in front of you watching you right now.
That sounds horrible.
I can't even think about it. It's just like eventually it just kind of like turns into like a blur in the background. Because I can't see anybody anymore. There's so many damn people. It's crazy.
It is a lot.
Where are y'all at? Come watch us and pay us, all right?
Where are billions of viewers? Come on, dude. Isn't that how this works?
Yeah, come on. I turn this on and you watch. Let's go.
I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm streaming. Why are you not watching? What? I don't get it.
Even with that, with YouTube, whenever I see people with videos, I still think that 1,000, like on YouTube, we think 1,000 views isn't like nothing. It's like nothing. Yeah. For some people. Because when you think, again, the user base is so big. It's a household name. Like it is. I'm scared about Alphabet, dude. I'm legitimately scared about Alphabet.
About Alphabet?
Yeah, that's the holding company that owns Google.
Yeah, that's now. That's now the holding company. Just
the Alphabet.
A through Z is terrifying.
Have you seen G? Oh my god,
bro! Look at you. It just goes back and forth.
Oh wow. Rob Busey says that also doesn't count the number of people that watch YouTube without Google accounts that aren't counted. Interesting to think about. So the number would actually be a lot higher, because there's a lot of people that don't even log in.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure that my dad does not log into YouTube when he watches it. When he watches the same Navy crafts of like planes landing on carrier ships, that he's just like, I thought this was cool then, I think it's cool now. He's 100% not logging into comment.
That's so old. Oh my gosh. Susie says the Super Bowl average viewership is only 110 million.
I mean, the thing is, like a billion people is more than 3 times the population of the United States of America. That's the size we're talking about there. 3 times the population of the United States. It's
that's nuts.
So it's like crazy. One Texas, right?
I don't think there's enough money in the world to sell that ad space. If you could actually reach all 2.2 billion people. Jesus.
Yeah, everybody just paused for a second.
Yeah, I just sat there and I went, math.
Oh my gosh. All right. So for the next topic, we have American Dad poops his pants on screen. It's a real thing that happened. I actually watched this guy. He's absolutely hilarious. And I'll post a clip here in the chat for you guys. Let's see here. If I can.
How did he get away with that name?
I think he's been streaming for a while.
How did Seth MacFarlane not try to sue him?
I have no idea. I
guess maybe he has no idea. Seth MacFarlane's probably like, I don't know what any of that is. Right. I just know what Fox is.
Yeah. So like there isn't much to talk about on this one. It's just a super funny clip, and it's from a streamer that I really do enjoy and I think deserves more attention. His name is American Dad. He's a partner streamer on Twitch, and basically in the clip, if you guys haven't watched it yet, he grabs this mic and he says, "Chat, fart mic, first ever fart mic on stream," and tries to put it up to his butt to fart, and then a little bit more comes out, and it's the funniest clip I've probably ever seen on Twitch. DoggGaming.
I'm just going to say something. I watched that again there, right? And it's become even more disgusting for me because you can literally see before he does it, you can see his joggies, and it doesn't look like it's the first time he's followed through. I'm just going to put that out there, okay?
Oh,
it doesn't look like the first time he's done that. I'm just saying what I see, okay?
I mean, I'm not really surprised with American Dad. He's that type of dude. He just like you can see it, like he has the same microphone as me, but it has like a little like baby hand thing on it. It's just like the dude's just weird. He just does things. Super funny guy. Does anybody have anything to say about this topic?
I'm just so glad he used a different microphone.
Yes,
because when you first told me about this, I was like, he has to put that microphone back to his mouth. Oh my god! Thankfully, it was something else.
Right?
Yeah.
I
just farted in this. Let me talk.
I legitimately thought he was going to get up, turn around, and just like you see a nice wall of brown on those sweatpants, and I was like, oh dear God! When he put this mic, I was like, oh thank God, this is at least going to be palatable.
Oh God, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a thing that happened. That's what I'm going to start showing people when they ask what I do on Twitch. They're like, what do you mean you stream on Twitch for a living? Well, watch this guy.
I'm going to tell my kids that was Ninja. The most popular streamer on Twitch or ever. But yeah, so that's what we all need to be doing to get Twitch famous, chat. You just got to crap your pants on stream and then profit, obviously. Dr. Nasty says, when I crap my pants, I run in shame. Apparently, I'm doing it wrong. You're 100% doing it wrong. You should always stream.
What if he had turned around and said, I just pooped my pants. Where are my subs?
Well, I mean, at least that's performance art he was doing, you know?
I gotta buy new pants now, bro. Come on.
I'll just feel bad for the man at that point. All right, here, take a 5. Here you go.
Yeah, bro, you got it.
Go get a shower, mate. Go get a shower.
No, you weren't the only person that noticed that he had probably pooped his pants before that All Fun and Games came in here and said the same thing.
I'm telling you, it does look yeah.
Robbie says, I've done it at least twice on stream. It doesn't work. My chair is no longer purple. That's a horrible thought. Okay. But yeah, so that happened, and I just had to bring it up because it's super, just absolutely hilarious to me. Chat, don't forget, if you want to ask me questions, make sure to type them in the chat and at myself and TRUgaming, or you can jump in the Discord. I'll post a link right here and hop into the, where's my mouse? Hop into the waiting room, and we'll pull you in once I send you a friend request and you accept. So Discord link is in the chat right now. So we have a question from last week that we weren't able to answer in time. It's from Troy Edward. He says, can we discuss using Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, etc. for sharing short clips, using the right hashtags, not using too many hashtags, knowing which platform is better to share what games on? I recently had a great moment on stream and I've shared it. I've definitely noticed certain games work better on certain platforms. To go along with that, tagging accounts associated with that game or not, tagging people associated with the game or not, sharing your channel in the post, or just having it on your profile.
Whew, that's a lot.
That's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just like, what platforms for social media should you use for specific games, and how many hashtags is too much? What's too little? Should you be using hashtags? What hashtags to use? Like, he wants to know how to do a Twitter or any sort of social media post about any specific video game.
I want to tackle one part of it before I forget about it, because this is a really long question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the biggest thing that I heard, and I saw Dog shaking his head at this moment, was tagging people in the tweets. Unless they ask you to do that, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless like a community manager or somebody is on Twitter and it's like, at me with your best clip from, whatever game, and we'll send you some swag or something like that. Please don't tag those people. That's their job is to be on Twitter, and the mentions being filled up will basically get you brushed off to the side almost immediately.
Yeah.
I think tagging the game itself is different. Because that's the game that you're playing. You're not going towards a direct person, if that makes sense. So that's what I wanted to cover before we forgot about it.
Absolutely. Touch any other parts of the question?
Yeah, sure. So I think hashtags, I see Susie saying it not to overdo them though. And I think this is almost platform dependent.
Yeah.
Twitter, you get what is it, 240 characters or something like that. Get your message across, short and sweet. That's what you need. Maybe like hashtag Twitch clips, hashtag Call of Duty, if that's what you're playing. That's it. Instagram, that's where discoverability is in the hashtags. So that's why you see a lot of people, they do like a line of dots and then it's full of hashtags at the bottom. So that way you don't have to read them, but it shows up in those hashtags when people search for them. So that's dependent on your platform. The games, I don't think is dependent on platform. I would just say whichever one you prefer, use that, or use them both. Put your clips on both. It doesn't hurt anything. What worst case scenario, somebody follows you on both and they go, "Oh, I saw this clip 2 times." Nobody's going to care. So I don't think like one game is going to be better on Instagram versus Twitter, or on Twitter versus Instagram. I haven't used TikTok. I'm not a big fan of the platform for a multitude of reasons. But that's a different story. I don't think it hurts. If that's a platform you enjoy using and you're already using it, sure, throw your Twitch clips on there. That's part of your life. That's what social media is for, is to share these things. So I think social media is one of the biggest things to help grow your stream. I wouldn't overdo it. Like I wouldn't post a clip every hour because that's going to get a little too much. But, I think what people say is like on Instagram, like 3 times a day is the sweet spot from what I've been told by people who research this. So use them. Don't overdo the tags on Twitter. Don't @ people on Twitter unless they ask you to. Please don't do that. And make funny things.
Yeah.
There you go. Sadomi?
So I know me and Vel had brought this last night, but actually I'm gonna get to that part later, because the first thing I want to talk about is MPI. I agree with you said in a way, but also I think about it in a different way. So I think it's okay to tag people if you're willing to start a discussion, or if you want to acknowledge them, but just in a context that you can almost guarantee they'd be okay being a part of. For instance, if no offense, Dog, if you added me like, "Hey, I'm going live," I wouldn't care. Okay. But if you added me like, "Hey, I just saw this really awesome report that this company put out about why Mixer is doing this and not this," and you tag me in it, then I'd be more willing to, engage with you there.
So yeah, and I think that's fine. I think it's just if like, "Hey, I made this funny clip in Call of Duty. Let me @ the Call of Duty community manager."
Yeah.
That looks like you're reaching for it, and that person is not going to care. But I think if you are starting a discussion, yes, tag those people, because that's what they're there for. That's what a community manager is for, is to have a discussion with the community about a video game, but not to just be like, "Watch my funny clip in the game that you're the community manager for," because they get 1 million of those a day. They have to do their job at some point.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's as long as everyone can people need to think, if you're tagging something or tagging somebody, always think like, why would they want to interact with it? You see a lot of people do things without thinking of purpose, without thinking of direction. For instance, why would you post a long essay on Instagram? Why would you post a whole ass article on Instagram? That's my one for the day. Why would you go on Twitter and post like something that's going to take 4 hours to read? So something quick, snappy, to the point. Boom, like there. Or YouTube. Why would you write, like I said, again, writing an essay on YouTube, like just writing text on a YouTube video? No one's going to do that. You think about the platform and how people use the platform, and then use your content to in sync with that. In other words, don't post video on a text-based platform. Don't post text on a video-based platform. Essentially.
There you go. DoggGaming.
I mean, yeah. To go back to a couple of things. When it comes to tags, I always try and follow the rule on Twitter: no more than 2 hashtags. Any more than 2 hashtags, your tweet just looks cluttered. Especially if you've got any ats or anything in it as well. When it comes to posting your clips, if you're trying to if you're trying to be known, if you're trying to grow your content like that, one of the best ways to do it is make sure whatever platform you're on, Twitter, Instagram, that you are interacting with the community of the game that you're playing on there. React to people's posts, strike up conversations underneath their posts. Obviously, regarding the post and not just to insert your own, agenda. But if you want your clips to be seen by more people who will appreciate it, start interacting on social media with the people who will be interested in your clips. That interaction, once they get to know you a bit, there's a chance to follow you, and then they start to see your clips, and they're the kind of people that is their game, the type that they're into, they're more likely to talk about it to someone else. They're more likely to share it with someone else, because that's the kind of content that they consume themselves. So, when it comes to what platform, completely do what MPI is saying. You use as many platforms as you feel that you want to use. Repost your stuff on those platforms. Again, just to touch on what Sadomi was saying, I mean, it's fantastic what you were saying about, like, I could tag you if I'm going live, Sadomi, I'm going live, but not everybody's like that. Not everybody is as accepting of that, or is okay with that. Some people are going to feel that you're trying to maybe guilt them a wee bit, or just something. Some people might take a negative tinge from that, you know what I mean? So what I would say about that is, if you're tagging people, have, like Sadomi said, have a reason to do it, an interaction that isn't just, hey, come and watch me, or hey, watch my content. Like, you've got to not be just, you're obviously, we're all trying to get our content seen, but you don't want to come across as some pushy sort of person that's just, hey, watch me, I'm in your face. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's, sooner or later people are going to get annoyed with that, but you still got to find a balance of pushing your content out, So as I say, get involved with the community, whatever game it is that you're get involved with people, content creators that are even established ones. Get involved with their content. Start talking about it in the message chains on Instagram or however. And that's how you'll build up more people actually seeing your content, that want to see your content, because I'm sure we've all put content out, and there's only a percentage of people that follow us on Twitter that might, or Instagram or whatever, that might specifically be interested in that type of content. And what you're basically trying to do is increase that number of people, that percentage of people that are interested in your specific type of content. So absolutely get out there and post it, but just have a wee thought before doing it. Don't just spam it. You're not just trying to just force it down people's throats. You want to make it attractive to people and give people a reason to watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I definitely don't like when people say I'm going live and then they @ somebody, or say like, come follow me, and then they @ somebody on Twitter or anything like that, because it does seem pushy for sure. And then it also makes it seem like if you don't, everybody's going to know about it now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's put out there. Like, if you want somebody to go follow your channel, like, don't be super public about it. Like, DM them, if anything. You know what I mean? Because, like, if somebody asks me on Twitter saying like, hey, I'm going live right now, come check me out, well, like, I need to at least stop by, or else, like, then I'll feel rude. You know what I mean? Because like now everybody sees that I was told to come check somebody out. I don't want to be like rude or mean or anything like that. But if you just tell me like, hey, like I stream sometimes on these days, like I'll try to stop by sometime for sure. You know what I mean? Like it just try to be more genuine about it. Just try to like, just, you know, be humble about it. You don't need to force anybody into your channel, and just, you know, be yourself, be a cool person, and you can still kind of let people know like what your schedule it is in a very private way. And eventually they'll stop by and check you out whenever they get the chance. And even if they don't, like, it's not like the end of the world or anything. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody going into your channel is going to give you that leap that you need to start growing on Twitch or whatever platform it is that you're on.
Yeah.
Because that's just not how it works. You know what I mean? Like myself, I've been rated by Tim the Tatman 3 times, and it's not like I'm a partner streamer by any means. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. There's no big break. There's nothing that one person can do for you to help speed up the process by any means. It's all based on you and your content. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say about that.
So I'll add on something too. Yeah. So one thing I love people that ask like, how do I get people to like look at my channel more often? Like when I post on like Twitter and no one comes to, it's like, well, don't tell people to come watch you. Show them why they want to watch you.
Yeah.
Right.
And a word is specifically like that. Show them why they want to watch you, because so many people think so much about themselves, but not about what the viewer thinks or looks at or sees about them. And I'm guilty of this myself too, really badly. So again, but for the most part, yeah, like give them reason. Like, do you have to find? I don't know how to like really say this without just repeating the same thing over and over again. But show don't tell.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like I have an example of something like this. I remember the first event that TRUgaming ever took streamers to was ECGC in like 2016 or 2015, something like that. And I was friends with all the people that went, and I didn't get picked. And so I wasn't like upset about it, but I was like, man, like I hang out with all these people and I didn't get to go. And so instead of like sulking about it and talking to TRUgaming about it or anything, what I did was I just decided like I was going to prove them wrong. You know what I mean? Like I figured I was going to step my content up, and I was going to work hard. I was going to do whatever I could to show them that like they made a mistake by not picking me. And since having that mentality, I've been to every event that TRUgaming has brought people to. You know what I mean? Like it's not about like going to somebody and telling them like, hey, you should like do this thing. It's about like, okay, well, you don't follow me yet, but let me show you why you should, by just doing your thing and owning it and absolutely crushing it every day. You know what I mean?
Yep. Agreed.
So that's my little take on that. It's just, you know, be genuine and be humbly competitive about it, and try to put that chip on your shoulder on like, these people might not know about me yet, or they might not think I'm worthy of a follow, but I'm going to do whatever I can to prove to them that they were wrong originally, and then I'm going to change their mind. So a kind of another question, not really a question, but a topic that's kind of more on what Troy Edward brought up with his social media post question. Sadomi wanted to talk about the life of your content on social media. So Sadomi, take it away, dude.
All right, cool. So, a question everybody open here too. What platforms do you guys generally use the most besides Twitch?
Twitter.
Okay, there you go.
Twitter primarily. YouTube. I've just started with Instagram. But yeah, primarily Twitter though. I waste too much time on there.
Okay. So Twitter's a great example for this one. But I'll let MPI go real quick.
I think for posting like clips and things, Instagram, but just for like scrolling and wasting time or talking with other people, Twitter for sure.
Yep. So Twitter, Discord, YouTube.
Yeah, Discord.
Yep. All that stuff.
Oh, Discord. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So one thing about all those platforms is, we'll start with Twitter. Twitter is actually the best and the worst, for example of this. So Twitter, how long do you expect a tweet for someone to see your tweet? We'll say if you have your reach of however many followers you have, how many percent of those do you think are scrolling Twitter at the moment you tweet that? Probably not like...
Yeah, less than 10%, 5%, something like that.
Yep. Yeah. And so one thing with Twitter is you can't really scroll through tweets. There's no incentive to scroll through old tweets unless you're specifically looking for one thing. And I'm sure very few people use a search button on Twitter. It's just what's on your feed and who you follow. And you kind of branch off of that.
Right.
So, and Twitter. If you post something on Twitter, no matter how good it is, if it can get buried. And once it gets buried, it's gone. No one's going to look for it. No one's going to find it again. I have tweets from 2015 that are great. Or I wrote something great and awesome, and no one will ever see it again because it's just no one's going to go look for that unless they know it exists and looking for that one exact thing. Versus YouTube or even Instagram, if you go to someone's page and you can scroll down far enough, like you can see everyone's like posts from Instagram really like right there. And again, there's also lives a little longer than Twitter. Twitter, I think the average life of a post is about 4, 5, 10, 20 minutes. Outside 20 minutes or an hour or even like a day or two, it's gone. No one's going to see it.
Mm.
So I think, and this is my problem too, Twitter is one of my main platforms because I'm more discussion based. So when I try to create content for Twitter, I try to think about that. I try to make sure I don't post anything that I wouldn't mind being lost in 20 minutes if no one sees it. Because platforms that don't have static content, aren't static, just kind of disappear. Like this is probably Twitch's not biggest problem, but something problem with streaming in general with Twitch. Your VODs go away after 60 days if you're a partner and affiliate. They go away. So you don't have that time. Like if you made a good VOD, you can't go see it again after 3 months or 4 months. And no matter how good that stream was, all you have left of it is just the clips. And the clips page, don't get me started on how crappy that is. So yeah, if you ever try to find an old clip that you loved from a stream, but you can't remember exactly when it was, it's pain. Yeah. And
when you go to it and it's clips that I've made first, I'm like, I'm in my creator dashboard. I probably want the ones from my channel.
Right? Like,
does that not just make sense? I mean, come on.
Right. It is kind of garbage. That whole clips page is awful for sure.
Yeah. Again, if Twitch was going to like actually they need to improve clips really badly in 2020, or else they're gonna take a fat one.
Right. And in TwitchCon 2017, they were talking about how Twitch clips can be used for growth. And they used this one clip, for example. It was this guy who was playing, I think it was like Outlast, and he was just very immersed in the game, and his kid sneaks up and says daddy or something like that and scares the ever living crap out of him. And it ended up getting him a lot of extra viewers and kind of like boosted his channel on Twitch and everything. And they saw the success from that and figured, you don't really need to improve this. Like, look at this. Like, he grew off of this. Like, we're done, But in reality, there's so much more that can be done with Twitch clips. Like, I feel like every update on the browser makes it more and more difficult to download a clip and put it on other platforms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like every streamer that I've ever talked to about like downloading their Twitch clips and put it on like Instagram, it's just like, it's a headache. You don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it ends up being don't even try to download your whole VOD.
God. Nope. Don't even do that.
12 hours later, it's still getting ready.
Yeah.
There's an hour and a half.
The idea that it's easier to use third-party sites to get clips downloaded is really a sad indictment. It's something, and that's something it should potentially be quite easy for Twitch to fix, but it would make such a difference. It's such a huge quality of life, isn't it? Because there's people out there wasting a lot of time downloading clips, where it could be done a whole lot quicker and smoother. That's certainly something that surprises me that they haven't actually looked at to improve yet, because to me it looks like quite an easy thing to sort, in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've talked about this before, where like you're kind of required to go onto other platforms in order to grow on your Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Twitch knows this, but they're also making it harder to get your content on other platforms at the same time. But like, I don't think they realize the potential of the potential of just making us more discoverable on Twitch itself would benefit Twitch as a whole, but also allowing us to branch our content over to other platforms would only help grow Twitch in general as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was Rob Busey in the chat who told me that like all ships rise in high tides. So like whatever you do to grow, it helps literally everybody. You're just bringing more attention to the entire site itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Twitch needs to start to realize, they're requiring us to go to other platforms, but they're making it difficult to get our content on other platforms at the same time.
Well, I think to touch on slightly what Sadomi said, like, you know, it's very hard to access static content on Twitch. You know, it's very hard to access static content on Twitch, and it's a real, you know, that's they're hamstringing themselves. You know, YouTube are coming along. You know, they're doing here. We've got all this static content. We've got the static content. You know, and now we're doing streaming as well, and so we're going to build onto that. You know, and in reality, Twitch is going to have to do something sort of the reverse. They're going to have to build the static content, the access to the static content, and the way that it is. The way that it's used by viewers, the way it's digested, you know, but another thing about this that is, what do you call it? If they could improve the static content, discoverability for everyone will increase. You know, it will help. It's a lot. It's a lot easier to be found when one of your clips is included in, you know, I don't know, a category of this week's clips where something funny happened. I don't know, you know, a very general sort of thing. You know, where you've got clips from streamers from all over the world, all different sizes, but they're here and you can access the clips. You know, these are the kind of things that would really boost discoverability and would honestly give a far easier ride for people, you know, making other types of content. You know, and not always having to download it and put it to Instagram after you've compiled it all, or, you know, making videos in Vegas or whatever. So definitely, it's something that Twitch really, really needs to look at, because it's kind of silly that you know, that there's all this content here. There's all this. It's all just sitting, and as Sadomi was saying, very much like you know, Twitter, it's gone after a while. You know, it's gone. Twitch clips are, they disappear. VODs disappear. You know, people aren't going back 2 months, 2 years, whatever, to watch a VOD from someone. Whereas with better access to static content, people's clips, it could be flung up on a trend. You know, a clip that was taken 2 years ago, but it's just, whatever tag or whatever it is that's categorized as it falls up in a trend, and all of a sudden someone's getting huge views on something and getting the blowback of getting interested in their channel and their content from that. So yeah, to me it's a no-brainer, and something that I'd be surprised if they weren't working on, to be honest.
Absolutely. And that kind of gives me like the idea of like I don't know if they had it where you're from, but in America they have this thing called America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
just to have something like that, you know, but
exactly.
Twitch clips, or like a Tosh.0 but Twitch clips, you know what I mean? Like that would really, really work. You know what I mean? There's so many funny clips of, like, you know, streamer fails, or, you know, people getting really scared, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
looking at this, like you talking about having that as a discoverability of, like, top clips of whatever category, or even of the week, things like that, gave me the idea of, I would like to see that on the front page.
Yes.
So let me tell you what's on the front page of Twitch right now. I open it. The first thing I see is a man with no shirt on, walking on a treadmill from 3 different camera angles. Recommended live channels, one of which is TRUgaming, which I'm literally on right now. Thanks, Twitch. Recommended categories, which none of these fit anything I'm interested in except for art. Recommended smaller communities, which is already 4 things down, but should be there. Recommended just chatting channels, because I apparently watched that one time. Music and performing arts, recommended art channels, and then recommended clips. Here are the recommended clips for me. The oldest one is 5 days ago. 1, 2, 3 of them, 4 of them are mine. I think I know who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are Vel. 1 of them is an Atlas, and 1 of them is Heart Support. I follow all of these people and watch them regularly. What has this done for me? And this is at the very bottom, after I had to see a dude with no shirt on walking on a treadmill from 3 angles.
Yeah.
I love that it recommends TRUgaming. You're literally on it right now.
Can watch this channel that you're streaming on.
It's literally a channel that I'm streaming on, and then people that I already follow. Like, why? None of this is helping anyone. I feel
my gosh.
So get rid of
the joke.
Just throw away the front page. Take it and throw it in the garbage can and start from the beginning to actually help people grow.
Yeah.
What they need to do is bring us 4 to the Twitch headquarters, and we'll just, give them the ideas for the Twitch homepage.
Oh, we'll sort this. We're sorted.
Like, you just get some designers with us, like some coders, and they'll be the ones to do it all, but we'll just come up with the ideas, and I promise you it'll be 100% better. It'll be great. Okay.
People will actually look at it further than I only typed in twitch.tv instead of twitch.tv/streamer.
Right, exactly.
Now,
how many times do you actually just like not pay attention to the front page at all?
I have three bookmarks. I have my following, my dashboard, and my channel as my bookmarks for Twitch. And like, what's the point in the front page? It's nothing. It's, it's just a useless splash page that I never visit. And to echo what AD said in the chat, and again what MPI was pointing out, why are people being recommended their own clips? Why are they being recommended their own channels? And why in recommended is also the people that they already follow and perhaps are sub to? That's not discoverability. That's just keeping everybody together. That's forcing all discoverability onto the viewer and the streamers themselves, the content creators, and taking no responsibility for it at all. And it's pretty sad.
I also have the same person recommended in 2 different places here. One of them is recommended live channels, and one is recommended just chatting channels.
That is ridiculous.
And that's Kit Boga. Like, he has 5,500 viewers right now, and I think most people probably heard of Kit Boga.
Right. Not to deserve more viewers, but at the same time, like, when you're trying to spread the love and support across Twitch in general, you want to find the content that's, it's from a smaller streamer that deserves more. You know what I mean?
Or why am I serve the same person 2 categories apart? It's like YouTube telling me to watch the same video up here, and then I scroll and it's there again.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so one thing I'll counter with for Veli's argument is, also thinking from Twitch's perspective, they want to portray their best content on their front page. Okay, and no offense to
that's not what I'm
Jimmy
seeing.
Snuka, but yeah, well, technically that's what they want to do, and ideally it would make sense that your higher viewer streams would be your better content because more people are watching.
Right.
With that mental regard. And like I said, no offense to Joe Schmo, who has 20 viewers versus Kid Bogo, who has like 5K plus, but if you were Twitch as a company, who would you be more willing to show a brand new non-endemic viewer to Twitch? Kid Bogo or this random affiliate?
I agree with that. I don't think that there shouldn't be top streamers on the front page. I think that they 100% deserve that. I just think that there needs to be more done for discoverability and entertainment value on the front page. That's not stuff that isn't our channels and isn't channels that we already follow. I think there needs a whole a segment, like a section of the homepage should be dedicated to like whatever kind of Twitch clips you enjoy watching, whether it's funny Twitch clips or Twitch clips of people getting scared or really nice plays in a video game, something like that. But like off of what MPI just told us, that literally tells us that there's like no real algorithm to like find you new content. It's like, well, you're following this guy, you're following them, and you stream yourself. So here's your clips because we didn't know what to throw in there. And then the rest of it is all people that you already know about it. So, well,
in case you forgot, you made a clip one day. Here you go.
And also, MPI is not a brand new Twitch viewer. This isn't the first time he's been to Twitch. He's got a long history with Twitch. They've got a lot of information. They should have about him. You know what I mean? About his streaming habits and what he watches. You know what I mean? So again, like I agree with Ellie. I don't think that there shouldn't be partners and the best content on the page, but by the time you've been on the site as long as, for example, we have, MPI has, there should be so much information that they have that they're able to be far more specific and far more accurate with what they're suggesting. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. When someone comes on for the first time, when someone hits that splash page for the first time, have all those big trusted content creators there. Have them as the main focus. Have them as all of the page. because that's how you sell. You're totally right. That's how you sell. That's how you make people interested, as in the people that you know. They have huge followings. They have huge interest in them. But what we're actually talking about here is further down the line, is more, using the information or collecting the information in the right way that allows them to tailor what's been suggested to you far more to your needs and your tastes. I mean,
I think it'd be. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
To give you an idea, I've had my account since 2012, and I'm still just getting random stuff on the front page. Like none of these recommended things are particularly something that I'm interested in, other than people I already know. Like, no offense to anybody who plays Rocket League, but why is Rocket League a recommended thing for me when I've literally never watched Rocket League? Like, I think I watched Sadomi play it a few times, but that doesn't mean I want to watch everybody else play Rocket League.
If I'm right, Twitch has a very basic machine learning for that, and that's not really Twitch's. Let me phrase this: it's not the machine learning's fault or the recommended fault. It's because the recommended doesn't have any other data to go off of except for what game I play and what I stream. And like what I do. And I've streamed Rocket League a lot back in the day. So if you look at my stream totals, my highest viewer streams are Rocket League, and most of my streams were Rocket League. So every time you watch my stream, you'll get recommended Rocket League. Oh, that's nothing considered what I do now. So going into that, I had an idea, and I want you guys' opinion on this. What would you think if we got rid of categories together and replace categories with tags and add and use other tags as well? So instead of going to a category for like just chatting or Rocket League, you would just use ASMR tag or exercise tag or Rocket League tag or Dark Souls tag or Tarkov tag, and then like comedy or mental health or support, backseat gaming, all those other tags. So what do you think? Changing out categories for just tags?
I mean, I think that makes more sense. Like, look at YouTube. I don't go to youtube.com. Here, I'm going to go to youtube.com right now and look at the front page. I don't have a category for anything. Like, there's YouTube gaming, YouTube premium, movies and shows, live, and fashion. Those are all brands.
How many of those would you click?
None of them.
None? Oh.
None of those categories I would click. But because YouTube gaming, it hasn't been a great working website for a while. But when you go to it, you don't have all these categories to go through and hope you find something you like. If you want to look up something, I say, like, I want to look up Dark Souls. I type in Dark Souls and I get a bunch of Dark Souls videos. It's not in any order. It's just Dark Souls. The first one has 104,000 views on it. The next one is 38. The next one after that is 286. So 3 down is the highest of the top 3. So searching for what you want makes a lot more sense than click this category and hope there's something in there for you. And you don't even know if there's anything until you go to that stream, watch it, and then go, I don't even speak the same language as this guy. I just sat through an ad, had to find the stream, and we don't even speak the same language. Well, what the hell am I here for at this point? So being able to actually search and look for things makes so much more sense than aimlessly browse and hope you find something. Because I don't personally ever want to go watch a stream for the game. I want to watch it for the person. So having the ability to search those tags, like you said, or a good example is closed captions. That's a tag that I use because I have closed captions in my stream. Some people are deaf. Some people can't listen because they're at work, but they can watch on the side. They want to find streams with closed captions so they know what that person's saying. That's how you should be able to find things, not hope there's something good in that category today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's bad to have categories. Like, if you specifically want to watch, like, let's say an Elder Scrolls stream, you want to watch a Skyrim streamer and you want to find somebody who's playing it for the first time. Great. You can go to that category and look through it until you find blind playthrough. But if that's not what you're looking for, you don't have a way to find anything. So having both is good. But if I only have to have one, give me tags every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I was going to say, I think perhaps both would be the preferred method. It allows people to just search based on a game, as it currently is, and perhaps, because there are people that are just going, I'm interested in that game. I want to see, the top streamers play it. I want, there are people that absolutely want that. And so that. I think that's fine. But you are so on spot on with certain tags, especially stuff like closed caption. That's a huge one because it affects so many people, not just because so many people might not be able to hear, but exactly as you say, so many people love to sit and work, can't listen, can keep up, can type in chat every now and again if they know what's being said. Yeah, I think that's the addition of some sort of tags, hashtag, whatever, would be a real welcome addition. And again, it's another thing that would help discoverability hugely.
I agree.
And I mean, that's like how people find stuff on YouTube is with tags.
And imagine if those tags were used like we were talking about with the clip highlights. Say that there was a clip highlight on the homepage and it used the tags that you most frequently, like to watch or that you follow, those specific tags. Like the homepage could be a place like for its own level of entertainment and discoverability. Like that's all. Like the homepage could be, obviously you have your live partnered streamers, and then you could have like the highlight of clips. And then if you end up liking one of those clips, you could go to that channel, follow it. Maybe they're live at the time, maybe they're not, but you at least know about them. So it's an added level of discoverability. It's an added level of entertainment. Like imagine if people just hung out on the Twitch homepage.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the user base that would probably increase from that? You know what I mean? If you have Twitch streamers that you could go watch as well, but also like a highlight of funny stuff from streamers that you've never seen before. Like that honestly sounds great to me. I think that Twitch would highly benefit from doing something like
definitely.
this.
Yeah, everyone would. And I mean, think about YouTube. Yeah. Like we said, that's how people find you on YouTube. Discoverability is tags. That's why when people upload a video, if they said like a word at all, they throw that tag in there. Like if we said ninja, you're putting ninja in there because people can find you through searching for that. So think if somebody took a clip of your stream, like you're streaming, there's a funny moment and one of your viewers clips it. After your stream, you can go back and add tags to that. Yeah. For what happened, like funny death, Dark Souls, died again, whatever you want. You can add all of that in there, and then that's just there for people who have searched those tags or like those tags regularly. Perfect. That's exactly what you need to have these things growing on Twitch. And there's no secret that Twitch wanted to do things like that. Do you guys remember premieres of pre-recorded and uploaded content that lasted for a week? Yeah. They want to do that. Yeah. Just not being implemented. And I don't know where that problem lies. But that's what would be more beneficial than anything that's on the front page right now for me 100%. And for I think anybody who's a streamer.
Absolutely.
If Twitch can keep people just watching the front page, like that's just added content that people have to watch, and it's just more time that people are going to be spending on the platform in general. Exactly.
And there are people out there that are streaming. They're not really into streaming, but they watch content. They watch it on YouTube, and they're not really into live content. Twitch misses all those viewers. It misses every single one of them. They are not coming to Twitch, because they're not being catered to at all. They'll go, and that's the thing. You'll have people that are going in and taking their Twitch clips and then putting it on YouTube for the people that are then only watching it there.
Megan on the chat says, how do you feel with tag flooding in that case where people just make a clip and put 200 tags of the most popular words on it to try to farm clicks? So I think on Twitch, it would be like you wouldn't even have to look at the actual text of the tags. You could just do that behind the scenes, add that to the actual clip. And then the user that's trying to find these funny clips or whatever it is could just select through in like some sort of filter, like what hashtags or what tags that they would like to see on, clips today, something like that. Like, so you're not like looking at any text, you're still just watching a video. The tags are just kind of like basically just set in like behind the scenes.
Yeah. So like on YouTube, you don't see what tags are in a video on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where I think this would be really good, actually?
You can limit it as well to stop people. Because I think perhaps the worry is that people will just use the popular tags, even if it doesn't refer to their content, you know. But if you were to put a limit on the amount of tags, then it would force people to use the tags, you know, more sensibly and more targeted. But I know what you're saying. It seems to work for you, YouTube as well. It works for YouTube in that way.
And I think too, if you do that and it shows you like this video, like this clip was recommended to you because it has the just chatting tag in it, but it's you playing Escape from Tarkov. Obviously, that's not a connection that's been made, and people will see that and go, "You put that in there just for clicks," and move on.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyone who does that is going to just kind of be shooting themselves in the foot, really, because it's going to be extremely not genuine, and people won't want to watch the rest of your content if that's not genuine.
Yeah, they can just skip to the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and I mean they're clips. They're like 30 seconds long.
Right.
Like it's not like you're watching a 5-hour video and then go, "You didn't chat at all."
Yeah.
So with YouTube, they have a system with their tags where the first tag is weighted heavily, and then each tag lower down is weighted less and less. So
Okay.
essentially what Twitch could do if they wanted to go this route is just have it so that each tag at front weighs, we'll say if you have 10 tags, the first tag is weighted 50%, second tag's weighted like 25%, and then going down the list. So this way, your first tag is your most important. So you want that to actually define your content, like secondary searches. Because if you want to put 5,000 tags, okay, cool. But if you're going to rank horribly anyway to put the rest of the tags, so there's no point in adding them. You're just wasting your own time with that. So, and essentially that's how they could work. And as long with clips too, I think one thing we need to think about is people's click-through rate with those. On YouTube, you click things because of the title, the thumbnail, and what you perceive you will get out of the video. With clips, they're all such smaller microsecond clips. And definitely an autoplay feature, I think, would be like key as well. But we would think of it less as a YouTube and more as a TikTok.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking is, you know, I think this would be extremely beneficial in the Twitch app on your phone.
Oh my God, it'd be perfect.
If I could just open the Twitch app and literally the front page doesn't exist for whoever's a big streamer and they've decided that they think I want to watch right now, and it's just like clips of games that I've played or tags that I use and things like that, I'd actually use that app.
100%. I like it'd be just like TikTok, just put it on there just to have some like content, just to put it in front of your face for a minute. You know what I mean?
It would be TikTok just for live streamers. It would be amazing.
Right. It would be incredible.
That would turn that app around, in my opinion.
Right. I really hope that somebody that works at Twitch, you know, I know we have Rob Busey here as well, but I hope that there's more Twitch employees that listen to this, because this is coming from people that really, really just want to see the best out of Twitch and want to help out as much as possible. Yeah. And I really just hope that like somebody with any sort of power is listening to this right now. And it's like, we need to do this right now. Because if you're not, like, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is like, we're coming up with pretty good stuff here, my dude. And I feel like, I'm for you. Okay, listen, let's go.
And I'm sure some of it, like, it sounds like we're just kind of dunking on Twitch, but we're not. Like,
no, absolutely not.
We as content creators who aren't in the, 1 billion viewer rate like Ninja see and go,
right,
we are the bigger group of people on Twitch rather than the million viewed people. And this is what we see that we think would be beneficial for everyone involved.
Did you know I don't remember the exact numbers for this, but it's something like only 5% of Twitch streamers have more than like 10 viewers. That's crazy to think about.
In all honesty,
I've literally never felt better about myself than that.
I know.
I feel so much more important than I really am.
I didn't understand this until I went to the Twitch Prime event, and I was the only person there aside from Mike Dub TV who wasn't a partner streamer. And I was talking and I was like, yeah, I'm a Twitch affiliate. And they're like, yeah, like if you just start out like as a Twitch affiliate, it's hard. I'm like, well, I've been doing it for a while. I have like 20 to 30 viewers. And they're like, oh, well, you're above the top 5% of Twitch streamers. So I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Like it does definitely make you feel better for sure. But like at the same time, like there's so much content out there. And like, if you don't have 10 viewers, you're not in the 5%. And like, that's such a small percentage. It's insane.
Yeah. And how many of those people that are below that 10 viewer range are like making the greatest content of the year, right?
Exactly.
And they just aren't being seen because there's no way to be seen on Twitch, and maybe they don't know to go outside of Twitch and use Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you could literally have like the next Ninja, the next Dr. Disrespect, who's getting 10 viewers right now and is just like blowing it out of the water, but nobody can find him.
Yeah.
And their biggest issue is that they're not listening to StreamKey, obviously. So,
so if you know somebody who needs these tips, please share the podcast. Share it to whoever you think needs an extra step in their streaming game. Please do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy to think about that. And it's crazy how long Twitch has been a thing and not tried to really hunker down and increase discoverability. Like they've done things like you were talking about Premiere earlier to try to like help streamers out, but it doesn't really help any sort of discoverability or anything, which I think was the main fault of it. They've done all these things. They try to add new things. They try to add like a Discord element to Twitch that nobody ever used ever. And they really just need to hunker down on increasing discoverability for everybody. Somebody was about to say something, I think.
Like I said, I've had my account since 2012. That's 8 years. And that wasn't the beginning of Twitch.
Right.
It's been around for a while.
Absolutely. Sadomi?
So, one thing I think is happening with Twitch is there's a disconnect between people who stream on the platform and people who work at Twitch. Because I assume not a lot of people who work at Twitch or doing all these stuff does full-time streaming. I assume there's very few people, if any, that do full-time, who focus on discovery for themselves. So it'd be like me asking to like design women's clothing. I don't know what the needs for those people are. So I would not be the best person to technically create a platform or create a system for those people. Now, from a generic marketing like executive firm, I don't know crap compared to like the VP of Twitch or anything. So they would know that part. But me, no, all I know is what it's like being a streamer in like the lower end of the streaming game and what I would like as a content creator myself to get to that point. So essentially we just need to have a team of like some kind of streamer superhero team to go to Twitch HQ and be like, listen, we'll sit down with you every month. Here's what the problems are. Here's what we say. And take a listen to us.
Yeah, there's definitely something there for like bringing in Twitch streamers that aren't technically successful when you compare us to, larger partner streamers or anything like that. And like, there's like we're definitely the ones that see the issues. For sure, you were gonna say.
Sorry, have any like big partnered full-time streamers sort of went on to work at Twitch? Has that happened yet? I'd be interested in that because. If you look at it very much and just compare it to maybe even sports, that level of understanding, as we've got a phrase here in the UK, poacher turned gamekeeper, so someone who was on one side with all that knowledge, now on the other side with all that knowledge, but all the power to actually do something about it. Do you know what I mean? I'd be interested to know. Do any of you know? Perhaps you don't. If any sort of big partnered streamers have actually moved on and become, Twitch staff, where you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't remember that. There's one for sure that I know that is and I've seen a couple. I don't know about how many like lower end streamers have been, employed by Twitch eventually. I think like that's where it needs to come from, not just like the higher end partner streamers.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, my point was until we see it happening with a partner streamer, we're not going to see it happen with a lower. You know what I mean? Because to my mind, is this to sort of riff on what Sadomi was saying. We've currently got people working at Twitch that know business. They know they've got, they know what they're doing, but they don't have that grassroots knowledge. They don't have that day-to-day experience of seeing what it's like in the trenches, you might say. You know what I mean? So as it stands, they're not. There's nothing in their mind to telling them, oh, we need this information from people. We need this experience, And until someone, to my mind, until someone who has got a name, who has got a following, takes that role on and is able to say, no, you guys know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing in this way, and we need more of that feedback. I don't see it happening as it stands just now. You know what I mean?
Right. I think Oh, like I said, I hope somebody's listening to this because we're literally just helping people out right now, like with ideas for how to make Twitch a better place for the viewer and for the streamer. Which, like, I think like most of the updates that they've done have tried to benefit the streamer in certain ways, not really like the ways that we necessarily want. You know what I mean? Like they've done things like for affiliates, like affiliate used to not even be a thing. You know what I mean? So like they've done things for streamers who aren't partnered that like we never expected. You know what I mean? Like there's affiliates that are making, you know, really good money. There's affiliates that are, you know, able to do this full time and everything. But like at the end of the day, what we really want is discoverability, because like we don't want money essentially. Like money is awesome, but we want a bigger audience. We want to connect with more people and entertain more people. That's the main focus of, I think, a really good portion of Twitch streamers. I think we can talk about this topic. Or Sadomi, you want to?
Yeah, one more thing too. I just realized how, like the idea I had earlier, how the problem with that is, well, there are 5 different Twitches. There's 2011 Twitch, or Justin TV, I think it was called in 2011. There's 2013 Twitch, 2015 Twitch, 2017 Twitch, and 2019 Twitch. Those are 5 completely different platforms, completely different. So someone who got partnered in 2015 is not going to have any of the knowledge of what you need to do in 2019, and even so far as 2017, because affiliate came out in 2017, and that was not even a thing. Like 2015, it was just so many different things happened. Twitch moves too fast. So even though, the more I think about it, the more I think it's just hard to keep up with how fast this industry just goes. Like when I first started streaming in 2010, 2011, I was advertising on 4chan, playing NES games on a like crappy laptop. Like there wasn't even, streaming wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even like noticed. It was just, YouTube was barely even like that popping. 2013, 2015 totally changed the game. In 2017, I think is when streaming hit the, like when affiliates got announced for Twitch. Oh my God. It just went, I didn't even, it's so crazy because I've been around the scene for longer than I think some people realize, and even I remember sometimes. But it's changed so much. I'm amazed people can even keep up for a year at this point, much less that long. So having that experience is just really hard to find. Ones who can learn how to work 2019 Twitch the same way as working 2020 Twitch even.
That's true.
For sure.
That's true. But you know,
thing.
It is an evolving thing. But they would, you know, and they wouldn't have. You're right. They wouldn't have the exact knowledge, but they'd still have more knowledge than folk that haven't done it at all. You know, there are some things that we know that transcend whether you're, you know, a partner or, you know, anything like that. There are certain things that we know that are steadfast rules that we didn't know when we started streaming, you know, that we had no idea of, that we look now and think, oh, I would never do this, or I would always do this. And so, yeah, you're right. In that you're not going to get an absolute perfect fit, but to me, you're still going to get experience, that very valuable experience that isn't, that they don't have as a resource currently. Do you know what I mean? And they should be accessing as a resource to you know, because at the end of the day, you know, every, as you know, like you were saying about the all ships rise in a high tide. Everybody benefits. You know, what benefits the whole benefits us all, and benefits Twitch. So yeah, to me, they need some more actual grassroots knowledge and with some power in their hands, you know, with some ability to change stuff, and to introduce stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, like, as Twitch becomes more and more competitive every day, and so like you need the people that are competing. You need the ones that like are grinding every day to try to grow on Twitch and entertain more people, to really show how to better the platform in general for everybody, not just themselves. Because as much as I want to grow my own channel, I want other people to succeed as well. I like seeing other people grow and, you know, and blow up on Twitch. It's just a great feeling. You know what I mean? Like seeing somebody achieve their dreams of, like, you know, like they finally hit partner or whatever it is. Like we all just want everybody else to do well on Twitch, and this will definitely allow that. But we could, like I said, we could talk about this all day. We did have a question a long time ago from Snuff Burglar World. If anybody else has a question that I missed, please retype in the chat. I'm really sorry. That was a very in-depth conversation, and I think a really important one that a lot more people, especially Twitch employees, need to hear. And honestly, any platform should be doing stuff like this. But so the question was, what new and up and coming releases are you all most excited for? So I think for me, the thing that I'm excited for the most is probably Cyberpunk 2020. Even though they got pushed back a little bit more, I'm actually really excited that it did get pushed back. It shows that they care and they're not trying to rush it out like they did for Star Wars Jedi the Fallen Order. But how about you guys? What are you guys excited for?
Well, both the games that I was excited for have been pushed back. Dead. What's its face? Oh, I've forgotten the name yet. I'm not excited about it. I've forgotten the name of the zombie game. And Dead Rising 2 and Dying Light 2. Sorry, that's it. Dying Light 2 and Cyberpunk. Both have been pushed back. It seems 2020 is the year of cancellations, which is good, which is absolutely excellent, because for several years now we've had many games released that are just not ready to be released.
Anthem.
But Anthem being a major one, absolutely.
Good to begin with. Let's be honest.
Well, that's another thing, But Fallout as well, as well. Several other games that have launched and just not great states at all. But the one thing that I am happy about is the fact that even though Cyberpunk has been pushed back, the staff there are still going to have to deal with crunch time. I'd much rather they just push it back another couple of months. Don't work your staff to death over this. It's a game. We can wait for it. Am I happy? Not really. Will I wait for it? Yeah, of course. Do you know what I mean? But the two. So at the moment, the two games that I want are in the distance.
Sadomi?
Animal Crossing, New Horizons. What's the game called? Crap, I forgot. Oh no, I blanked. Oh no.
Man, you must be really excited for it.
Bro, I feel so bad because I was just thinking about it. Like, I was thinking so hard. And
I did the same thing.
Where is it? Wait, no, I'm frustrated now. Persona 5 Scramble, Persona 5 Royal. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I did it. Yay, go me.
Good for you. Class for Sadomi.
Good job. Proud of you.
MPI, what are you excited for, my dude?
I'm just, God, there's so many games coming out that I'm excited for. I'm really looking forward to Doom Eternal.
Okay.
It's heavy metal music. It's a first-person shooter, and I get to blow up demons. It's everything I want in a video game.
Mindless violence with crazy loud music.
It's everything I want. It's great. It's a great stress reliever, man. And then there's a couple that are probably less looked forward to by everyone else, just because they're not as big of names. But I'm really looking forward to the Dark Pictures anthology. They're releasing a game called Little Hope. If you guys remember Until Dawn, that was their first game. And then Man of Medan that they released last year. They're doing like every year a new small part of that series. And I'm looking forward to it because I love horror games. Deadly Premonition 2 is coming out on the Switch. That game is ridiculous and I'm excited for it. And the new Hellblade game that comes out in holidays. Looking forward to that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Susie says I've never been so excited about game delays, and I totally agree. It's cool that game developers are starting to realize that, like, we don't want the game now, we want the game to be good.
Yeah,
like it is like gaming is an art form for sure, and we want to experience like the best potential game that we could. Like the story, we want really good stories. We just want it all, and we're willing to wait for it. It's not like we like demand it now or whatever. Like if it's going to be really good, we're willing to wait for it for sure.
I agree. I think the issue is that for a long time now, gaming has went away from exactly what you said, the art form, and been pushed more towards what the profit is in each quarter for each company. What were our profits in quarter one? What will they be in 2 and 3 and 4? And and it's got to a point now where certainly the bigger studios, you can tell they're interested in their title until once the next one's out, they're not interested. That one's gone. And several big studios have been in the habit of doing that. And what we've got because of it is just badly made games released before games released before they should have been, games not being developed correctly, and also just the same stuff kind of churned out it is to make sure that we need to have something for the next quarter. There needs to be another AAA title. We need to be hitting these numbers. And I want to see. I mean, I've been gaming for a long time. I want to see the return when gaming was. It was everybody involved in making a game was about the game itself. They weren't, the profits were a secondary thing, and back towards, as you were saying, an art form, something that we enjoy in this. In the same way as music and television and video, but treated far more respectfully, because it's just at the moment it's been trashed by a lot of companies.
And one thing I really want to bring up too is the game industry is really freaking horrible. Like, if you guys don't understand how bad crunch gets sometimes. Yeah, I've spoken to some other developers. I spoke to Aronson Philippo. So if you guys know the game Race the Sun, he was part of the team that created that. And he's worked with Call of Duty and other major studios, and the crunch is absolutely horrific. Yeah, it is something that I would not wish on anybody. And if a company wants to crunch its employees and keep doing that and put out games, I cannot in full conscience keep doing that, because that just is not healthy or beneficial. And also from a pure objective productivity stand of view, no one puts out good work working 80-hour weeks every week. Yeah, I've not seen a single person be like, yo, my 79th hour, I'm about to kill it. And then they actually kill it. No, they die. Yeah,
no, they get to that 79th hour and just be like, this is how the code starts to become, is just smacking the keyboard. Like, I don't care. I want to go home. I want to take off my pants and go to bed.
Exactly.
and definitely take off my pants.
Yeah. Did I mention I don't want to wear pants anymore?
And the worst part too is, those games that get really buggy, those games that people crunch 80 hours a week for like 3 months for. Yep. And people go online and just crap with them because all the bugs and because it doesn't work properly. Imagine how that feels working for over 200 hours a month. And the product that comes out isn't as great as you want. And you're not the only person on that team either. Everyone's doing this. And someone might be like, your game is trash and horrible. How does that affect their mental health? How do you want to be a game developer? How do you want to be a game developer at that point?
And that's the issue, because the game developers, this is the problem. The game developers are people that have a passion for games and for making games and for entertaining people. And it's those people that are being crunched. It's those people that are being crushed under the weight, so that they can meet the financial targets of the CEOs and the VPs and whoever, who are sitting and don't care. They only interested in those quarterly numbers. And that's the worst part about it, is that the people, the artists, the people with passion, the people that, let's be honest, we could sit and talk to for ages and get on with, because they're one of us, they consume games. These are the people that are being churned up and spat out the other end without a second thought. And it is sad. It's very sad. And that's why I mentioned it with Cyberpunk, because I've been really looking forward to the game. And the disappointment of the delay, that was, it was fleeting. But then to hear the whole, by the way, this means for the next 9 months, all these people are going through crunch time. That doesn't sit right to me. That's and it might not be the case for other people, but that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth about how if I'm going to enjoy the game as much. That's something that it's a detraction from my enjoyment and in the game. So yeah, I actually wish that they would just say it's going to be next year before it comes out. We're delaying it another couple or 2-3 months, and everybody's going to be working 60-hour weeks or something. 50-hour weeks, something a bit more respectable.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Like Sadomi said, people who work on these games, they're the actual people working on the game. They're the developer, and they get attacked on Twitter or whatever social media. I always like to compare this to, think about like people who work in like retail or in like the food industry, things like that. I 1000% guarantee you that guy that's in the cell phone store that you're at right now throwing a hissy fit over something did not make that decision, because if they did, they wouldn't be talking to you. They would be in a corner office somewhere where they don't have to deal with those people. So when you attack a developer because the game wasn't good after they just worked 80-hour weeks on it, because you work 80 hours, your brain shuts down, you stop doing good work, I can 100% guarantee you that they didn't go, you know what? I'm just going to work forever. I'm literally never going to go see my family. I'm just going to work 80 hours and put out something that's crap. No, some boss somewhere that went, well, we're going to make 1 penny less this quarter than we did last quarter if we don't get this game out. Crunch. Yeah. They're the ones that made that decision. So those are the people that you need to be talking to, not Absolutely. The people who actually do the real work on a game.
Yeah. And unfortunately, to riff on what you're saying, unfortunately, those same people that are working it are pushed forward. They're the ones that are pushed forward into the limelight to take, the flack as well, which is just it's even compounding the insult to them in the first place. Because you ain't going to see the VP coming out and start, talking about, oh, well, the issue with the coding and, the games and this, that, and the next thing. They're leaving it again to the people with the passion, the people that put the work in. And the whole thing stinks. The whole thing stinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I got one more topic that we can talk about before the end of the show. Like, this one could be a really long topic for sure, or it all depends. But basically, I don't think that people should be switching platforms for growth if they haven't done everything that they can on the current platform. And what I mean by that is like, even if your content is top tier on whatever platform that you're on, like, you're really not doing everything that you can if you're not putting out YouTube content, if you're not, doing stuff on social media. So I feel like people that switch to a different platform but don't try to grow on other platforms like social media platforms or any other side content as well, I feel like they're just shooting themselves in the foot when they because they're starting with basically a new audience and they still haven't done anything to increase their discoverability on anything else. You know what I mean? So if you switched to Mixer from Twitch because you weren't growing on Twitch, but you also weren't doing anything on YouTube, like you really weren't doing everything that you could be doing.
Yep.
And you're just delaying yourself, if not losing a lot of progress that you've made. You know what I mean?
But you're also lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. That's at heart, you're not being honest with yourself. And if you're not being honest with yourself, you're not going to know what you need to do to get engagement, to improve, or to improve your content, whatever it is that you need to get. So being honest with yourself about your own content is the first and foremost of it all. Being able to look at yourself and see, I like that, I want to do that, but I wish I did this, or I wish I did that, or, and actually addressing these things, that's where to start with it. And of course, as you were saying, Veli, if you're not using other platforms, if you're not on YouTube, if you're not on Instagram, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not trying to be an active, if you say, for example, you're a main game person, if you're not active in that community, whether it's the forums, the Reddit, some official Discords or whatever, if you're not there, you're not doing what needs to be done. You can't become part of that community, a major content creator in that community if you're not a part of it in the first place. So I totally agree with what you're saying, and unfortunately, I see a lot of people doing this. I'm not seeing the numbers I want on Twitch. I'm moving to YouTube. I'm moving to Mixer, and from my anecdotal evidence, 8 out of 10 of them are returning to Twitch sooner or later. And all they've done is really wasted time.
Yeah, they've done the same thing, but on a platform that's harder to get discovered on.
Yeah, and wasted their time.
So I have a bit of a different mindset about this lately because I've been thinking about it, and sometimes switching is good if you make a calculated switch. For instance, what I want to do, isn't necessarily geared towards Twitch. There isn't a directory for me. There's just chatting and talk shows and podcasts, which, okay, just chatting, I'll be honest, it's not really the directory I kind of fit in at. Talk shows and podcasts is not really a higher directory, and also I'll be using the directory to grow, which would be kind of awkward. I don't do long form, like long 8-hour broadcasts. I do shorter ones about a directed topic. So for me, personally, because of the content I make, I believe that I will be better on a different platform. But that's because I sat down and analyzed what I do. Like what I do, I don't traditionally game. Like I haven't played a game on stream really in a long time. I don't really game on stream. But everyone else here, most people, they do. And that's more geared towards Twitch's platform. Twitch is geared for that. So if your content isn't picking up traction on one place, it's not necessarily a bad thing to look at other options, as long as, like what Veli and Dog said, as long as you're trying things on your current platform. but also being aware of what you do and how you do it is important for your platform too. Like, for instance, you're not going to be on Twitch writing essays, but you're not going to be on medium.com making funny short clip videos.
Yeah. And like, so this isn't like your situation is definitely different than most of the people on Twitch. Like, this topic is mostly for, the average like Fortnite streamer that's not getting any traction on Twitch. You know what I mean? And I'm using Fortnite just to say it, Siege, Tarkov, whatever it is. Like, bringing your gaming content to another gaming platform when you haven't done anything or everything you could before, it's not going to help you at all. It's just not. MPI?
Yeah, I mean, I like what Director Nasty said in chat is your content will follow you wherever you go. So maybe that's what you need to look at more.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I agree with that to certain points, but also like Veli said, I mean, you have to put things out other places. Even if that's not like, I want to put a bunch of clips up on Twitter, even if it's literally just like talking to other people on Twitter. Yeah. That's making connections. That's making friends.
Yep.
That's what networking is, like you make those connections, and that's what's going to help drive people into you, or someone will recommend you because they'll be like, you agree with me on all of these topics and you stream the same game as me. Cool. I'm not live right now, or I have to take the day off unexpectedly, but go check out my friend Velok because he's funny and I like his content too, but I have to be away from the PC today. Those things help more than people realize.
Yes.
And that's not to say go looking for that. Don't go out there saying, if I get friends with Velok, I'll get 1 million viewers on Twitch. No, just be friends with him because he's a good dude. Well, see, that's not what networking is about. And too many people hear networking and immediately go, I'm going to get something out of this connection.
Yeah,
that's what that's exactly what I was going to say. MPI. Too many people see networking as, what can I get out of this person? And that's not what it is. And like, I think of something else that people don't really consider is this. We talk about the numbers and all that, but as a community, Twitch isn't that big. Like, if you're being a shitty person, people will find out about it, right? That's how it works. Even if it's not that you go, it gets splashed all over, live stream fails or whatever, people talk, people network. And so people that you might never know, they know the person that you're talking to because they've met through whatever, a stream, what have you. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't bear that in mind, is that it's not like the world Twitch. It's a lot smaller.
And I think you'll have people who have been around the community for longer whenever you come in. Like, you'll have people who have streamed for 2 years, 5 years, so on. And I think I see this the most on Twitter because that's where people have conversations. And something will come up where somebody is a huge jerk and somebody will point out, oh yeah, that guy's been a jerk for 5 years. Like, he's always a jerk. This isn't a one-off thing. And people will remember that. They're like, this happened not that long ago with somebody where somebody was a huge jerk about something, and somebody pointed out that they literally used to run a Twitter account that just attacked and made fun of other streamers. And it was like, if I knew that the guy was a jerk, but if that person hadn't brought that up because they had been around, I wouldn't have known how much of an extent that guy is toxic and you should not be around him. That is a bad connection to make. So people don't forget about these things. And people won't forget when you're also a good person. They'll remember that you were there to defend them in chat when somebody was a jerk. They'll remember that you have good morals like they do, or that you agree on certain standpoints and things like that. So it's no different than working in any industry. If you work in, software development and you go to every convention and you walk in and the first thing you do is like point at somebody and you're like, I hate you, and attack them, people are going to remember you. It follows you where you go. And I'm not getting hired as a Twitch streamer, but people will remember things that I do and things that you guys do. And that will change if they recommend you, if they interact with you, if they raid your streams, if they watch your streams, if they just block you on Twitter and try to forget about you because you're that bad. That's what it is. It's a community, and people will talk about it, and people will connect with each other.
Yep.
There you go. So I think that about wraps up all the time that we have to talk about talking things. So we're gonna do our sign-offs now, starting with DoggGaming.
Yeah, I'm DoggGaming, and you can find me at Dog_gaming on Twitch. Everything else is DoggGaming, all one word. Yeah, join me on my new discovery of being a variety streamer, and do what my chat does and come and just rip me all day.
Yours does that too.
They say they love me. That's
Yeah, they say they do.
Actions though, actions.
So yeah, you guys can find me, MrPureinstinct, on pretty much every platform. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I stream most days of the week at varying times right now. It's usually 8 in the morning to about 11 in the morning Central Standard. Then in the afternoons are about 1 to 5. That might be shifting a little bit though. But I play a variety of story-based games. The mornings we're doing a series right now called Coffee Rewind, where I drink coffee and play old games that I never played. So I might be playing your favorite game from the Xbox 360 for the very first time. And you can come rip on me that I never played the game, just like Dog's Chat rips on him anytime you want.
All right, Sadomi.
Everyone, my name is Sadomi. I've been your homie for today. Thank you so much. I usually stream Mondays at 2 p.m. EST, pretty much right after StreamKey. Today's Wednesday because Martin Luther King Day, greatest day in history. But you can always catch me on at my Twitter, Sadomi TV. Sadomi TV. Boom, and hit me up there.
Awesome. And I'm Veloc_TV. Hopefully in the future I'll be just Veloc, but still can't get that username, but that's fine. I'm not upset about it.
Yes,
but you can find me at Veloc_TV on everything. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov lately. If you want to, chill, have a good time, and drink some coffee with us, we'd love to have you. Thanks for joining us for another episode of StreamKey. And please make sure to ask any questions that you have for us on Twitter, or you can ask them in the Discord. Wherever you can, ask us your questions. We love helping you out. We've been getting a lot of feedback lately about how streams have been improving for people that have been listening to this podcast, and we absolutely love hearing it. So if you have any feedback for us or any questions, please hit us up however you can, because we really, really do enjoy that. But thank you again for joining us for another episode of StreamKey. We'll see you next week. Sadomi with a sign off. There you go.